Tensions soaring between U.S. President Donald Trump and Iranian President Hassan Rouhani. AP, Reuters, Iran announced a further rollback of its commitments to the troubled international nuclear accord Sunday amid anger over the U.S. killing of a top commander, which also prompted Iraq's parliament to demand the departure of American troops. While vast crowds gathered in Iran's second city of Mashhad as Qasem Soleimani's remains were returned home, the Tehran government said it would forego the limit on the number of centrifuges it had pledged to honor in the 2015 agreement, which was already in deep trouble. The announcement was yet another sign of the fallout from Friday's killing of Soleimani in Baghdad in a drone strike ordered by President Donald Trump, which has inflamed U.S.-Iraqi relations and among the rival camps in Washington. Iran's 2015 nuclear accord with the United Nations Security Council's 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia and the United States, plus Germany, has been hanging by a thread since the U.S. withdrew unilaterally from it 2 years ago. European countries have been pushing for talks with Iran to salvage the deal, inviting Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif to Brussels for talks, but the prospect of progress seemed remote after the government's statement on Sunday night. Iran's nuclear program no longer faces any limitation in the operational field, said the statement. This extends to Iran's capacity for enriching uranium, the level of enrichment carried out, the amount enriched, and other research and development. It said, as of now Iran's nuclear program will continue solely based on its technical needs, it added. Supporters attend a rally for Qasem Soleimani in southern suburbs of Beirut, Lebanon, on January 5, 2020. Hezbollah leader Sayed Hassan Nasrallah urged on Sunday its fighters to attack U.S. soldiers in the region in retaliation for the assassination of Iranian top commander Qasem Soleimani by the United States. Photo by Bilal Jaj, Xinhua. Supporters shout slogans during a rally for Qasem Soleimani in southern suburbs of Beirut, Lebanon, on Jan. 5, 2020. Hezbollah leader Sayed Hassan Nasrallah urged on Sunday its fighters to attack U.S. soldiers in the region in retaliation for the assassination of Iranian top commander Qasem Soleimani by the United States. Photo by Bilal Jaj, Xinhua. Until now, Iran has said it needs to enrich uranium up to a level of 5% to produce fuel for electricity generation in nuclear power plants. Tehran said it would continue cooperating as before with the International Atomic Energy Agency, but the leaders of Germany, France and Britain reacted by urging Iran to rethink its announcement. We call on Iran to withdraw all measures that are not in line with the nuclear agreement, Chancellor Angela Merkel, President Emmanuel Macron and Prime Minister Boris Johnson said in a joint statement. The European leaders also urged Iran to refrain from taking further violent actions or support for them. It is crucial now to de-escalate. We call on all the players involved to show utmost restraint and responsibility. The Europeans have been among the chorus of voices urging restraint in the aftermath of the drone strike which killed Soleimani, the veteran commander of the Revolutionary Guard's foreign operations. But as his remains were paraded through the streets of Mashhad, cries of "Revenge, revenge" echoed through the streets while mourners threw scarves onto the roof of the truck carrying his coffin. Soleimani's remains had been returned before dawn to the southwestern city of Ahvaz, where the air resonated with Shiite chants and shouts of "Death to America." Some 5,200 U.S. soldiers are currently stationed across Iraqi bases to support local troops, preventing a resurgence of the Islamic State jihadist group. But the government could be poised to demand they leave after a vote in the Baghdad parliament, where caretaker Prime Minister Adel Abdel-Mahdi joined 168 lawmakers, just enough for quorum, to discuss a motion to force U.S. troops. The parliament has voted to commit the Iraqi government to cancel its request to the International Coalition for Help to Fight, as Speaker Mohammad al-Bussi announced. The cabinet would have to approve any decision, but the premier indicated support for an ouster in his speech. In this file photo taken on January 3, 2020, U.S. President Donald Trump speaks during a Evangelicals for Trump campaign event held at the King Jesus International Ministry in Miami, Florida. President Donald Trump thumbed his nose January 5, 2020 at critics angered at being kept in the dark over the U.S. killing of a top Iranian general, saying he didn't need congressional approval, even for a disproportionate strike. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has been leading the backlash against Trump's decision to authorize a drone strike against Qasem Soleimani in Baghdad, an operation that Trump only officially informed Congress about on Saturday, nearly 48 hours after the event. Photo by Jim Watson, AFP. In this file photo taken on June 21, 2017, a U.S. soldier advising Iraqi forces is seen in the city of Mosul, during the ongoing offensive by Iraqi troops to retake the last district still held by the Islamic State IS group. The U.S. military could face its second forced exit from Iraq in a decade after the parliament in Baghdad voted on January 5, 2020 in support of the expulsion of American forces. The Iraqi parliament held an extraordinary session after the killing of Qasem Soleimani, the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard's leader who wielded influence in Iraqi politics and was popular among the majority Shiites. But the risk of withdrawal could be high. The U.S. pullout in 2011 left a security vacuum that allowed the rise of the Islamic State jihadist group, and led to the U.S. military's return. Photo by Mohammed El-Shahed, AFP. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo reacted by saying he would take a look at what we do when the Iraqi leadership and government makes a decision, but indicated that he felt American troops were still welcome. We are confident that the Iraqi people want the United States to continue to be there to fight the counter-terror campaign, Pompeo said on Fox News. Two rockets hit near the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad late Sunday, the second night in a row that the Green Zone was hit and the 14th time over the last 2 months that U.S. installations have been targeted. Pompeo defended the decision to kill Soleimani while insisting that any further U.S. military action against Iran would conform to international law. Trump triggered accusations that he had threatening a war crime by declaring cultural sites as potential targets in a tweet on Saturday night. Zarif drew parallels with the Islamic State group's destruction of the Middle East's cultural heritage following Trump's tweets that sites which were important to Iranian culture were on a list of 52 potential U.S. targets. We'll behave lawfully, Pompeo told the ABC network. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has been leading the backlash against the Soleimani strike, an operation that Trump only officially informed Congress about after the event. But Trump made light of the calls for him to get congressional approval in the future, saying such notice was not required, and then saying his tweet would serve as prior notification if he did decide to strike against Iran again. These media posts will serve as notification to the United States Congress that should Iran strike any U.S. person or target, the United States will quickly. AFP. Let's block ads. Why?